Welcome back to the Echo Chamber podcast, the only podcast where two comedians read the Wall Street Journal because one of us gets it for free from work. Now let's give the folks at home a little rundown of the stories we're going to be covering today. Trent, what do we got?
Well, I would love nothing more, Joe. In our first story, you've heard of 23andMe. Well, they went bankrupt, and it's impossible to delete your account.
No deleting your account? Well, speaking of companies screwing people over, Ticketmaster, and possible violation with the law.
Oh, God.
United Kingdom. So we'll hear all about that as well.
Oh, wow. And paper straws. Some people are fighting for them.
Fighting for them.
Some people are pro paper straw.
That's a tough fight. A lot of people don't like those.
It's an uphill battle, that's for sure.
Well, this is going to be a follow-up to a story we covered before on the podcast.
Oh.
You remember the school principal in Long Island?
Yes.
She is cleared of all charges for stealing the $25 gift card.
Yeah, what an update.
Yeah, we'll have a nice update there.
And in my final story, not our final story, Snow White, the new live-action Disney film. Well, it's making
definitely needed.
It's making everyone grumpy, according to this article.
I know. I'm grumpy. I'm dopey. I'm all those guys about it. And our final story for the podcast: a new Utah law targeting mommy bloggers. They're coming after them.
Fuck is that?
I'm fucking right there with them. I'm here for it. All
Take
of those stories.
Lock them up.
All of those stories today on Echo Chamber Podcast. I did the math. If you wanted to get a Switch 2 with the new Mario Kart,
Yeah.
and then pay the import tariff, it'd be like $750.
So is that what? Now, Joe, explain to me tariffs.
Well, I'd love nothing more. Maybe this will go viral. Also, by the way, another good friend of mine, bit of an entrepreneur friend, was saying he's gonna start a toy company, and he said, "So yeah, I got a quote from like a manufacturer in China."
Yeah.
The tariffs that I got, and I was like, I don't know if you're aware, but there's like a 125% tariff on Chinese goods.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, what's the deal with that? I was like, dude, I wouldn't do this right now. I really wouldn't do this right now.
Yeah. It's not a great idea to start a company right now if you don't know what a tariff is.
It's not a great time.
What's the deal with that?
But so, Trent, it's a tax on you, my friend. Not on China. That's the thing. Well, it's actually the importer pays it.
Yes, the importer.
Well, the importer is just gonna make the price more.
Make it more
to the distributor
on the American consumer,
and the distributor will make it more. We're not there yet.
No,
the distributor will make it more.
Well, where does the American consumer come in? That's where I care about.
We're getting to it. The importer pays it. He goes, "Well, I gotta sell this for more." The distributor goes, "God, that's expensive. Well, I gotta sell it to the retailer for more."
Oh my God!
And then Walmart buys it. And he goes, "Oh my God. Well, I gotta sell it to these fucking dickwads for more."
Yeah.
And so
our fucking idiot customer base,
idiot fucking retard, fucking shit sniveling customer base. And so it all comes, and then that's where the buck stops. The buck stops with us.
With us, yes.
Yeah,
just two normal American boys. But what about the exporter? Where does he play?
What? Exporter's great. You're good. You're golden.
He's making out like a damn bandit, the exporter.
Well, it's funny because the reciprocal tariffs doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah.
Because that's like a country be like, oh, you're going to tariff our products? Well, we're going to make our guys pay for stuff too. Yeah. Like, you're going to make the people that live in your country pay more? Fuck you. We're going to make the people that live in our country pay more. I don't understand it. I don't understand how that's getting back.
I don't think anybody really understands it.
Neither do I. All I know is I used to do it in the 1800s, and apparently it never once worked.
It never worked, and it sort of made everyone lose their fucking mind.
The fucking William Howard Taft was a fucking passed tariffs, and then he got his ass stuck in a tub. You know what? We need to completely rethink how we do everything.
It seems that only our fattest presidents seem to love tariffs.
Yeah. That is weird. Yeah. And then the leaner they are, the more into a global economy they are.
Yeah, that's
there's something there.
Somebody should look into that if there's any scientists to do some research on that.
Well, let's jump into these stories, shall we?
I'd love nothing more, Joe. In our first story, this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, the Wall Street Journal.
Headline: Customers struggle to delete accounts.
This is 23andMe.
23andMe, the login portal of 23andMe's website went down Monday evening as customers of the DNA testing company rushed to delete their genetic data after it filed for bankruptcy. Whatever the fuck that means, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Earlier in the day, people trying to log in faced long wait times. Never a good sign when you face wait times to log in.
To log into a website. They go, you're on the list.
I think you're trying to buy tickets to Oasis. Or error messages, and had to make repeated attempts to receive confirmation that their request had been received. By Monday evening, consumers said the customer service chatbot, and every chatbot should be shot in the head, gave a message that read the company was receiving a, quote, high volume of inquiries and increased web traffic. The chatbot directed customers to try reaching out later.
They go, oh my God. We're slammed. Get the chatbot on it.
Try later, they say. It's like a magic 8-ball. Some 23andMe users have sought unsuccessfully to delete the data of a deceased family member, and many expressed uncertainty about whether or how they would receive confirmation that the data had been deleted. Several also said that they have a heightened interest in what happens to their data because of a password hack at the company in 2023 that exposed the information belonging to 6.9 million people.
So it's only your DNA.
It's only your DNA. And this company, 23andMe, we were all familiar with 23andMe.
Yeah.
They went bankrupt, and their plan is to sell all your DNA and all your data
to pay off
the bankruptcy.
Is that actually their plan?
And they've made it. It seems like to me they've made it near impossible to delete any of that information.
So it's in the boardroom like, I got it. Make it impossible to log in.
Yeah,
impossible to delete anything. And then we'll sell everyone's DNA to the Mexican cartel, or really, honestly, the highest bidder.
The highest bidder.
And then we'll walk out of here like it never happened.
Yeah. And we'll face no repercussions whatsoever. And we'll probably get
it. These fuckers were up on a high horse. Like, this is helping. All this DNA is helping science and medicine, and it's catching murderers and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck.
No, they don't give a fuck. And all it does is ruin poor people's lives. They find out their father had a secret family in the next town over. They have 14 brothers and sisters that they had no idea.
Yeah,
they had no.
You find out you're not 1/18th Cherokee.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? The point, I'm not a 16th Cherokee.
Yeah, I did one of those, and when my aunt got it was for Ancestry DNA, not 23andMe. Ancestry,
they're thriving.
They're thriving, still growing strong, and
I don't understand.
And more power to them. But we're all rooting for Ancestry.
Well, I've always been Team Ancestry.
Yes. But anyway, she got all of us one of those things for Christmas one year.
Terrible gift.
And you have to.
Let me do a spit test.
Spit into a tube.
Spit swab. Thanks for the Christmas present. I'll shove a fucking swab up my nose.
I might just spit in your fucking face. So I have to spit into a tube, and they came back, and I go, oh, I hope I'm part Navajo code talker.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, the ones who knows when the trains are coming.
Yeah. 100%. And anyway, it came back, and I'm 100% English.
100%. Wow.
Yeah. So
I did one, and 100% Cherokee. Isn't that crazy?
that's
I'm full Cherokee.
Wow.
Yeah, you never would have guessed it. Yeah.
Those who request for deletion were processed, received. Oh. Those whose requests for deletion were processed received an email from the company that said your data is being deleted, followed by an added detail: your account will no longer be accessible and will be deleted per your request. Once a buzzy consumer startup, 23andMe, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on Sunday and announced the resignation.
23 going for 11
of its chief executive officer Ann Wojcicki. Facing inflationary pressures and challenges in its efforts to use DNA data to help develop pharmaceutical medicines, the company is now trying to sell itself through bankruptcy. So apparently it didn't work out.
So I still don't really understand what went wrong. They struggled.
Well, inflation, Joe.
Inflation?
That's what it says here due to inflation.
So eggs went up, and they go, "Fuck it, we're throwing the towel." We can't do it.
I think they couldn't compete with Ancestry. Everybody knows Ancestry. The 23andMe sort of the redhead step.
Well, now to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
I mean, I thought Ancestry.com was more about finding out who my great grandpa was.
Finding your roots.
Josiah Nunnink.
Yes.
Peasant.
Well, that's what it started.
Peasant and farmer.
Peasant farmer.
Peasant and crook.
Slave owner. That's how it started. Yes, and then they said they saw that DNA testing was becoming very popular, and they go, "How can we get our fucking grubby, grimy hands on that?"
Gritty mitts on it. Yeah.
And so that's what they did. And then
What do you think is worse, having an ancestor who is a slave owner, or an ancestor who couldn't afford to be a slave owner, but would have loved to have been one? An ancestor who really was like saving up for a slave.
Yeah.
They had like a little like jar of money, like a rainy day fund, but to buy a slave.
Yeah. I would rather be able to afford a slave than not to be able to afford a slave.
No, I'm saying, would you rather have your grandfather have, or great?
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Oh, you prefer him to have had a slave?
Yeah.
That he worked.
Yeah.
That he worked hard.
Worked to the bone. Yeah.
Okay. Let's write that down. Worked to the bone. Trent Mabry.
We're always honest on this podcast.
What's our news?
That's our new slogan. No spins. No sort of a no spin zone.
There's a no spin zone.
Yeah, but there was you remember that there was a show on, I believe it was on PBS or something, where this guy tracked your roots, and he used Ancestry DNA or whatever. The Ancestry, it was a tie-in with Ancestry DNA, right. And Ben Affleck was on an episode, and it came to light that some of his ancestors owned slaves, and he tried to have that scrubbed from the record.
No, did he really?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, you just assume every white guy.
Come on, can you be that? I mean, how could he be that insecure? No one can know this.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
What do it.
What about this?
Yeah.
If you have an ancestor who's a slave owner, but they slept with one of the slaves, and so you got a little slave, not a little slave, not a little slave, but you got a little
tightrope.
A tightrope. So there's slave owner in your past, but there's also slave in your past. Could you then hide behind that and go, my ancestors toiled in the field? I would just say that my ancestors were slaves.
Yeah.
I wouldn't claim the slave owner part.
I would say that member of the family was estranged. But
Estranged, yeah.
We didn't have contact, but we loved our whatever.
Right, anyway, tell me the conclusion of this.
Well, given that customers agreed to the policy when they signed up for the service, they sure it was in the fine print, that stuff that we never read, and you just agree to it. And
sounds great.
Yeah, let me fucking start up my iPhone.
I don't even know what data is.
I don't know what data is. I just need to get on Twitter. Well, the customer data isn't subject to HIPAA or Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which protects personal health data, according to
you're
legal experts.
Kind of fucked.
You're fucked beyond all belief. Don Bieber, an 88-year-old New York resident, spent 3 hours on Monday trying to delete his data, as well as that of two now adult children.
What does he carry? He's 88. I'd be like, fuck it. I'm going to die soon anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Over the course of 3 hours, he received several error messages before being able to successfully begin the deletion process. Customers who had more complicated situations, including those who accidentally sent 23andMe emails to their spam folders or who couldn't remember their password, said they faced hours-long customer service queues on Monday. So
everyone's
you're basically fucked. They're trying to hold out until the deadline so they can sell your data. And I say whatever. Let them do it. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're going to die. We're all going to die, and one day the sun will implode, and all of human existence will be forgotten.
All of humanity will,
But in the meantime, Another article from the Wall Street Journal. Now, Trent, you made a snide remark about Oasis tickets.
It wasn't snide. It wasn't snide because I'm going to Oasis August 31st.
Well, where did you get your tickets?
Ticketmaster.com.
Oh, Trent! No, you fucked up! You're fucked!
Oh, no.
You're totally fucked.
Oh, no.
Well, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Trent, UK warns Ticketmaster on possible law violation. Ticketmaster may have broken UK consumer law in the way that it sold tickets for the rock band Oasis's 2025 tour.
Yes.
The country's competition regulator said. The Competition and Markets Authority said on Tuesday that Ticketmaster could have violated UK law by labeling certain seated tickets as platinum and selling them for nearly 2.5 times the price of a standard ticket without sufficiently explaining that they didn't offer additional benefits.
Oh, Christ. Well, I always see those platinum tickets. They're always thousands of dollars, and you always click and see what they're for, what the benefit is.
There's no benefit.
There's no benefit. They say you get an exclusive poster.
It's also for sale in the lobby.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't explain what the benefits were because there weren't any.
Yeah.
And they broke a law in the UK. But the CMA said that many Oasis fans were left waiting in a long queue online.
Yeah.
And then had to decide whether to pay a higher price than they originally expected. That was also part of it. The prices jumped up once they got in the queue.
Yeah. They have that fucking evil
technology.
Yeah, thing that says that if they're selling fast, raise more, higher.
Yeah.
Quote, it's evil.
We're concerned that Oasis fans didn't get the information they needed or may have been misled into buying tickets they thought were better than they were. Can you believe that? Someone like an Oasis fan being led to believe that something's better than it is? I think they suck.
I like them. I like Oasis.
I think they just seem like the most pretentious assholes in the world.
I like that.
You like that, and that's what you look for in a rock band.
Yeah, I like a kind of a prickly asshole kind of.
I thought that I was maybe open to that until I went to see LCD Sound System.
Well, LCD Sound System, yeah.
And I like the music, but the guy was an awful prick.
I think that these guys seem different than what he was doing. He was like mad at the audience. They get mad at themselves, each other, and journalists and stuff. I kind of like that stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. But I don't think they're that great. But that's a different story.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
We don't need to fight. We don't need to fight on the podcast.
We're not going to fight on the podcast. So
anyway. I also didn't pay. These are the UK ticket prices. I'm going to see them in the MetLife Stadium in beautiful New Jersey.
Well, yes, but it's just Ticketmaster tickets.
Ticketmaster is
they only broke a UK law. This law doesn't exist in our country.
Yeah, right.
To protect us.
No,
so.
God forbid.
No.
God forbid we could protect him from being fucked in the ass.
English band Oasis said last year they would reunite on a tour in 2025, sending fans racing to get their hands on tickets. The Watchdog said that some customers reported issues with Ticketmaster, saying they believe the company used dynamic pricing model to sell tickets, adjusting their price when demand was high. The CMA said it didn't find evidence the company used algorithmic pricing, but said the company instead released standing tickets at a lower price, and then once they ran out, released remaining standing tickets at a higher price. Quote, all ticketing websites should check they are complying with the law and treating customers fairly. Ticketmaster, which is owned by Live Nation Entertainment, didn't respond to requests for comment.
Live Nation, they own every concert venue in the world.
Yeah, this evil monopoly.
Yeah.
Now, it's weird to think that Ticketmaster would do something illegal, too. Now, I don't know if you remember, Trent, but we both got letters in the mail.
Yes.
About 1.5 years ago from Ticketmaster saying, hey, all of your data may have been stolen.
Yeah.
And you might want to, I don't know what you might want to do.
Yeah, we don't really know, but we're required to tell you.
We're required to tell you.
We're required to send you a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
So that you'll likely throw away.
Good luck and good night.
Good luck. Yeah, that's all. We did our part. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what data, I guess my credit card number, and I'm sure they asked for my social security number one time to prevent me from reselling my tickets. So, so it's all, we're fucked and everything sucks. And that's to quote the Limp Bizkit. But Joe, this...
Who would never ticket gouge. Who would never gouge on tickets.
Joe, this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, Paper Straw Crusaders' lonely fight. Trump order fuels return to plastic, causing complete panic.
So he had like an executive order that was like paper's gay or something?
Yes, paper's gay.
That's and he signed it.
The only thing I want to suck on is plastic.
And everyone goes, oh no.
Yeah. Plastic straws are making a comeback. Carrie Lawton has 2 words for them. Suck it.
Oh, God.
The co-owner of paper straw company Rock Paper Straws put the phrase on a zipper she designed last month after Trump's executive order seeking to ban the plastic alternative. Lawton has become a one-woman paper straw crusader. She spends a few nights a week commenting on strangers' anti-paper straw social media posts, telling them the flimsy ones are usually foreign-made and they should try American-made. So this is how this woman spends her life. She scours the internet for anybody that makes any
negative remark. It goes
about paper straws.
Well, if you bought American,
yeah. If you didn't buy from those damn foreigners,
those dirty Thailand manufacturers.
Yeah.
Now tell me, how does Trump have the power to just ban something?
He has the power to do anything he wants.
I guess so.
How dare you question? How dare you question?
Unbelievable unilateral power. It's unprecedented. Other presidents used to have to like pass laws and stuff.
Yeah, they used to. Yeah,
I guess that's a thing of the past.
Sort of thing of the past. Take everything you knew about the 3 branches of government, throw that out the window.
Yeah. It's one branch.
It's just one guy. One guy has all the power now. His name's Donald J. Trump. Quote, I didn't think I'd have to fight so hard for a straw, she said, but I'll keep fighting. And the only reason she cares about this is because she has a company that makes paper straws. A decade ago, plastic straws were public enemy number 1, seen as an environmental nightmare that clogged oceans and hurt sea life. We all remember the terrible...
How can you clog an ocean? Never mind, go ahead. I'm just saying. I'm sure they're bad for the ocean, but I don't think you can like, clog. It's not a toilet.
I didn't know there was a drain.
I mean, we treat it like a toilet.
We do treat it like a toilet. I don't know how it clogs ocean. The only thing I can think of is maybe that giant island of trash.
Yeah, that seems like a bit of a jam there.
Yeah. And I'm sure Trump is going to start sending refugees over there.
To live on Trash Island.
Trash Island. Send them to Trash Island. I'm sure that's on the books. So I don't know how you could clog the ocean, but we all remember how it hurts sea life, that terrible video of that sea turtle with the plastic straw stuck in its nose. I mean, how could we forget that?
Not the sea turtle.
Yes, that one sea turtle.
One sea turtle, and I got to use fucking paper straws now.
Bars, restaurants, and fast food chains promised to move away from them. But critics, including the president, have had enough of the sometimes soggy alternative.
God, he gets mad.
Quote, these things don't work, Trump said, of paper straws as he signed the executive order in the Oval Office.
It is so funny that he's like so petty that this is what he's focused on.
Yeah.
It's like banning paper straws.
Yeah. It's insane. Lawton found out controversy was stirring while eating lunch with her staff last month. Her phone buzzed with texts and links to Trump trash-talking paper straws. I was just in a complete panic, said the Rochester native.
Fuck. Oh, no.
Oh, we are fucked.
Oh, my God.
I put all my life savings into rock, paper, straw.
Rock, paper, straw.
For Bobby I, the problem with paper straws starts before he even takes a sip of iced coffee from his local Panera Bread in Providence, Rhode Island.
Sounds like a tool.
Yeah. Complete and total jackass. First, the straw has to pierce through the plastic lid, causing the paper to tear.
Goddamn thing.
Damn thing. I'm trying to drink my damn iced coffee from...
Can't a guy just go to Panera Bread and get
Panera
an iced
Bread.
coffee? Fucking goddamn paper's
I can't even get the damn thing through the...
It's effing it up. It's effing it up.
Gosh darn thing. So you can't even get the fucking thing through the lid, which sounds like him problem. I've never had an issue.
This guy seems like a guy who has trouble penetrating things.
I've never had an issue. I listen. They're not the best paper straws, but
they've gotten better.
They've gotten better. I have no strong feelings either way. I can imagine spending a second of my life thinking about this.
No, I couldn't imagine. This is the most I want to think about it right now.
You know, do you remember when we were young boys? There was a new invention, a cereal straw. which was made out of a sort of a wafer type thing. You drink the milk, you use it to drink the milk in your cereal.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You don't remember that?
I've also never heard someone start a sentence. When we were young boys, there was a new invention. What is this? What is this, the early 1800s? Well, the light bulb.
Bifocals.
Bifocals. The cotton gin.
Yes, the cotton gin and then cereal straws.
The swiveling chair.
Sometimes the 30-year-old who works in finance has to drink his morning caffeine with the lid off.
Wow. Oh, no. Man.
Increasing his risk of spilling.
What
a fucking baby.
God, this guy should be fucking... This guy should be tarred and feathered.
The movement against plastic straws started around 2015 when a video of a sea turtle with one stuck up its nose went viral. Michael Smith, who remembers watching the video in high school and squaring off straws for good.
Never again.
Never again. Even paper ones.
Fuck those two.
Which he said are a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Okay, give me a break.
At restaurants...
How do you propose to slurp up the...
Well, you long before the invention of the straw, Joe, we had a thing called our mouth. And you just pour it up into your mouth.
But then the lid, then you can't...
The lid.
Well, it works for coffee.
Yes, coffee. It works for everything, really.
Yeah, wait, why is hot coffee, sir, you just slurp it out, but iced coffee, you must have a straw? Why is that? In fact, all hot drinks, no straw.
Yes.
But cold drinks, perhaps they don't want your mouth to touch the cold ice.
Or perhaps the hot drink, they're worried about the plastic melting.
That's true.
Or
the paper could start on fire. I don't know how hot coffee is, but I read a little book called Fahrenheit 451, and I know the burning point of paper.
Well, at restaurants, the 33-year-old waves off servers who try to drop off straws.
That sounds like the cuntiest thing I've ever heard. Oh, away!
Throw in his face. Workers at his local... This may be the saddest sentence we've ever read on the podcast.
Wow, okay.
Workers at his local Wendy's in Durham, North Carolina.
I'm closing my eyes for it.
All right, let me start
over.
Workers at his local Wendy's in Durham, North Carolina know him so well, they automatically hand him sodas and cups without a straw or a lid. Could you imagine? Could you imagine going to a fast food place so much that the workers know who you are, they recognize you, and they know your order?
And then they look at you, and then they look down at the cup, and then they take the straw out.
Yeah. They take the straw out. They take the lid.
They're right over here, Don. Yeah, you're right. That is unbelievably sad. That's a Wendy's?
The Wendy's in Durham, North Carolina. Quote, I
like how this guy thinks he's saving the planet by not using straws, but he's going to Wendy's enough that they recognize him. I don't think you're helping anything.
Right. No, with the plastic wrapper and...
Yeah, all the other shit.
All the shit. Everything in Wendy's comes wrapped in plastic.
They're slaughtering cows that are the leading cause of global warming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
The methane.
And then they wrap all those frozen patties and chicken nuggets up in plastic.
Yeah. Ship it all over the world, containers and shit, and they fucking box cutter.
Throw it in the deep fryer.
They probably come with a shipping styrofoam around. They remove that, throw that in the ocean. They fucking slaughter 100 million cows a day.
One guy in Durham, North Carolina is making a difference.
Making a difference.
All the difference in the fucking
Goes to
world.
Wendy's fucking 3 times a day like a fat fucking pig.
Plastic is problematic because unlike paper, it never disintegrates. Instead, plastic breaks down into smaller pieces that can be eaten by birds and fish, causing them harm. Those microplastics find their way into our food and bodies. And I'm sure it's fine. There's no effects from that. Trump has played down the environmental effects. Quote, I don't think the plastic is going to affect a shark very much. He said,
that's so funny to say that.
As they're munching their way through the ocean.
I don't think a gun is going to hurt a child very much.
And the president's executive order noted paper straws sometimes come wrapped in plastic, undermining the environmental argument, which is, I guess, is a fair point. Charlie Green Man isn't happy at the prospect of plastic's return. His preference for paper has nothing to do with the environment. Quote, I like the way it feels on my mouth, said the New Yorker, a software company founder in his early 30s.
I would hate to have my one quote in the paper. I love the way it feels on my mouth.
I love the way it feels in my mouth.
I love the way
if that's so wrong.
My lips wrapped around it. I love the way it caresses the back of my throat.
Getting it coated in my own saliva. I just love that.
Yeah.
Paper straws.
Coated in my own saliva.
Do dissolve quickly, he says, but he finds that exciting. Quote,
this guy's a sick freak.
He gets off on this.
Yeah,
it creates sort of a countdown timer of how much time I have to finish my drink. Green Man said.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I like all my meals and stuff to have a timer.
yeah. You're on the clock. You got 5 minutes.
But for Yvonne Roche, a 43-year-old stay-at-home mom, it's like drinking out of mushy cardboard. At bars and restaurants, she needs 2 or more paper straws to get through one beverage, which is absolutely insane.
That sounds crazy.
That's insane. Trump, hurry it up, honey. There's a fine line between setting a timer and waiting so long your fucking paper straw turns to mush. You gotta
and having 6 of them.
Yeah,
I need 5 more.
Yeah. Trump's executive order won't affect her, however, since she lives in Alberta, Canada. Quote, I'm hoping...
Well, it might soon. We'll see.
Yeah, 51st state. Quote, I'm hoping Canada can maybe adopt it, said Roche, whose country has banned single-use straws. You guys are kind of leading the way back to sanity, which is an absolutely insane thing to say.
It's unbelievable. Well, Trent, we've got an update from a story we covered before on the podcast. Yes. And we'll have a quick explanation of what this is. The school principal who is cleared of stealing a $25 gift card. She's been cleared.
Oh, good.
The principal didn't do it.
Oh, wow.
That's what they've decided. That was the verdict. Then an arbitrator delivered on Thursday in the case of a missing $25 Amazon gift card that rumbled on for more than a year, all the while upending a picturesque small town in the Hamptons and laying bare its petty politics and seething rivalries.
Jeez.
That's right. See, this is what happens when you have nothing to worry about because, like, your money's taken care of. You worry about straws and you worry about a missing gift card.
Yeah, missing $25 gift card.
On Thursday, the arbitrator, Timothy Taylor, found that the woman at the center, the tool man, the center of the case, Maria Dorr, wasn't guilty of the 3 charges against her and ordered that she be reinstated as principal of the Amagansett School.
Jeez. See that now? If I went through all this, even if I was innocent, I don't know if I could bear to show.
I want to go back, but she'll be going back and fucking in high heels, clanking down the fucking hallway,
true,
strutting her stuff.
Yeah, she's got a fucking.
It's like Trump coming back in the White House over here.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he's back.
She's gonna run roughshod
it's
over
like
the whole
Voldemort
school.
came back to power.
That's true.
Dorr, who has spent more than a year on administrative leave after she was accused of stealing the gift card, couldn't be reached for comment. Her attorney said, quote, she fully intends to go back. So she's coming back.
Wow, with a vengeance.
So if you don't know, the saga began on the morning December 15th, 2023, when a parent at the Amagansett School brought a parcel of holiday cards to distribute to teachers before holiday break.
Yeah.
Butts claimed she placed one of the cards in the mailbox of an occupational therapist for whom it was intended.
Yeah.
But then the card vanished. Suspicion soon fell on Dorr, the principal of the award-winning school. Under her leadership, the elementary school won a blue ribbon designation from the education department for its academic excellence.
Wow.
In her performance reviews, Dorr was praised for her honesty and good ethics. The case against her was buttressed by a video from one of the school's 38 cameras showing her emerging from the mailroom with a red envelope at 8:37 a.m., 13 minutes after Butts had supposedly delivered it. Dorr professed her innocence under questioning by Richard Lochner, the then district acting superintendent, producing a separate gift card and red envelope from her recycling bin as proof. But in February 2024, the district initiated disciplinary proceedings. The trial generated some 1,400 pages of witness testimony for a $25 gift card. It's crazy. So crazy. Yeah. Sherman and his colleague, Brian Deinhardt, unearthed various inconsistencies in the district's case. The general focus was Butts. She reported to Dorr that the gift card was missing at 10:08 a.m., more than 90 minutes before its intended recipient had even checked the mailroom for it. Butts, who has since retired, was found in a previous case to have, quote, exaggerated and unsubstantiated claims.
She's a shit starter.
She's a fucking shit starter. She's a fucking... And there's one of these in every business in every town on Long Island, more than anywhere else.
That's true, yeah.
There's an absolute fucking shit starter.
Yeah. Wow. Well, she's the lovely lady. She's innocent, and this
Door's innocent.
and she retired. She knew the law. Johnny Law was not going to her. She goes, I think it's about time for me to hang it up.
She's been hiding. She's in hiding.
She's in hiding. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll never know where she is.
Jeez.
But it's good to have some closure on some of these stories sometimes.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a follow up.
Yeah, it's good to finally know.
Well, I'll tell you what's not going to get a follow up: the new Snow White movie, live action Snow White.
Oh my!
It didn't do too hot at the box office. It actually made $77 million, which
that's a failure.
Yeah,
that's a failure.
In today's world, that's a failure.
You have to make $500 million, or it's a complete fucking failure.
Yeah, 20 years ago that would have been
it's probably cost like $100
big box office smash. I believe it cost $300 million.
It cost $300 million.
I believe that's what it says in here.
To make some CGI fucking ugly fuck faces.
Yeah, look at these fucking. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's
and
crazy
I'm not saying that because they're dwarves.
No,
I'm saying that because they're CGI. We'll hold it up to the camera here, because I don't think anybody.
I like how they're like, well, it's like inappropriate to cast.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'll let you take it away.
Snow White. This is from the Wall Street Journal. The Exchange section.
Ah, yes.
Whatever.
One of our least favorite sections.
Snow White is making everyone grumpy. The live-action remake of Disney's beloved classic managed to hit every possible cultural landmine on its journey to theaters.
Jesus Christ.
The star of Disney's new live-action Snow White wasted no time hurling insults at the original version, saying it had antiquated ideas about women in power. When the movie started filming, it created a rift in the
you know what? It was made in 1937.
Yeah.
So why don't we move the fuck on? Jesus.
Yeah, you didn't have to sign on to do it if you didn't like it. And it also didn't need to be remade. All these fucking live-action remakes, it's just
stupid. Nobody wants it.
No, they all suck. It's no one wants to see a fucking live-action realistic looking warthog sing Hakuna Matata. I don't know why people think they want that.
A baby lion eating real bugs.
Yeah, it's cute when it's a cartoon, but when it's real animals.
Also, remaking this one, this is one of the most boring movies of all time. Snow White.
Yeah.
I mean, people had no.
Don't tell Walt that.
Back then it was like entertaining.
Yeah,
it's like Superman. Superman used to be entertaining in the 30s.
Superman stinks. Sucks.
Now he does, but back then it was like cool.
Yes, I know.
So why would they remake this anyway? Take it away.
I don't know. I don't even really remember Snow White.
No, neither do I.
It was for chicks. I always said that's
it's for like toddlers. You have to be like 3.
When the movie started filming, it created a rift in the dwarf actor community.
Are they called dwarfs now?
I guess so.
Is little people out?
Or is there a difference between little people and dwarves? I always thought there was a difference.
Is there?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to weigh in.
I'm not either.
But I thought there was a difference.
Now, what about gnomes?
Gnome, I think, is a mythical creature, magical creature.
But dwarves are real.
Dwarves are real.
Strange. Okay.
And in this movie, there's
I didn't know that. So this is based on essentially a true story. You're telling me everyone in the movie's real?
Well, no. These are all CGI. They're all CGI'd.
Right.
But there was we'll get into it in a second.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I keep derailing you.
That's okay. The New York Post dubbed it Snow Woke. And how they thought of that, I'll never know.
Yeah, that sucks.
Hollywood Strikes shut down production, and a literal fire broke out that damaged the thatched roofing on one of the cottages on set. The actresses playing Snow White and the Evil Queen even staked out opposing sides about the war in Gaza. Disney's latest movie has been one grim fairy tale.
Yeah.
When executives at Walt Disney decided a decade ago to make a modern Snow White, they didn't imagine it would cause such a stir. They wanted to produce a new version of one of its beloved classic princess films that would appeal to, or at least not offend, everyone. They'd successfully done so with other sacred cows such as the Lion King and Mary Poppins. But have they really done that successfully?
I don't think so. No.
The Lion King, I never heard anybody really talk about it.
No.
Mary Poppins, no. I didn't even know they remade.
I didn't know they remade that either.
Instead, it seemed like all of their decisions managed to make people angry. And you know what they say, Joe? If you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
That's true, Trent. And I think that is best on display here.
Yes. This Snow White would have more of a backbone than her predecessor. They decreed she isn't just waiting around for a prince. Her name would be inspired by a snowstorm instead of by having skin as white as snow.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yes. Snow White would be played by the Latina actress Rachel Zegler. The dwarves would be computer-generated, not human performers. Disney spent nearly
Yeah, they're just depriving 7 guys of work.
Yes. seven dwarves don't get a lot of opportunities to
No,
be
it's like one of like the 5 big opportunities.
Starred major Hollywood motion pictures.
Yeah.
And they could have 7 of them.
Their gripe is like this is my take on it. I understand that the gripe is like it sucks that all of the roles for us are like the 7 dwarves or Munchkins and all that stuff. Not like remake it but without us. The problem is that you're making it at all.
Right.
To come up with new ways for us to get work, not like
Yes.
these demeaning things.
Exactly.
But I like how we'll just remake all of this in CGI then.
Yeah, so we won't hire you guys. But there'll still be dwarves, obviously.
Right. It's a complete wrong takeaway.
Yeah. But they'll look ugly. It'll be one of the ugliest things you've ever seen.
Yeah, they're going to make you guys look worse than you really look.
Disney spent nearly $300 million to make Snow White, which opened last Friday. It is expected, this came out before, it's expected to debut around $50 million. It ended up making like $70 million. That's not a massive haul compared with opening weekends for previous Disney reimaginings like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, both of which opened with weekends approaching $200 million. And made no cultural impact whatsoever. Early reviews have been somewhat positive if you don't count the online mobs. Disney's live-action updates have produced their share of hits. 6 of the films have grossed more than $1 billion worldwide. Other remade classics like Dumbo failed to take off, and a Pinocchio starring Tom Hanks as Geppetto was panned by critics. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, me neither.
And I also tried. By the way, I think Pinocchio sucks too. We tried to watch that Guillermo del Toro one.
It sucks shit.
I fell asleep. It sucks shit.
It's a fucking bullshit old story that sucks dick.
To move forward with the new Snow White, Disney executive tried to anticipate what today's audiences would expect.
Has anyone ever anticipated correctly what today's audiences want?
No, it's unpredictable.
Nobody's made a movie for themselves in years, and except for that guy who made Beau is Afraid, and then that also shows you shouldn't make something just for yourself either. See, you just
I don't know. Which scenes must be included and what elements would be seen as out of date? For instance, the phrase "fairest of them all" had to be in there, but Disney executives fretted that the audiences might assume their heroine was heralded for being the whitest of women.
I mean, can we just get out of our own way?
They also contended with ugly responses to the casting of Zegler, who is of Colombian descent, which some fans posting on social media have found hard to square with the character known for her pale skin. Fairest of them all, in this version, would have an expanded definition to mean the kindest, not just the most beautiful.
This is like, how many indicators could you possibly need to say, let's not remake this movie? It's completely stuck in a different time, and there's no point of remaking it.
Exactly.
Just come up with a new fucking princess film.
Yeah, I know. I also, of course, I've only seen it when I was like very young, but I had no idea that the whole thing was based on how beautiful and white she was.
Me neither. Because for the 4-year-olds watching this, they don't think about that kind of stuff.
No. When online commentators criticized Zegler, the actress took matters into her own hands. Yes, I am Snow White. This is a quote. Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role, she posted on social media before later deleting the message. She described
saying, yes, I will bleach my skin for it.
She described the critics this way: losers obsessed with maintaining the bloodline purity of cartoon princesses. After Donald Trump's re-election, the actress fueled more ire when she posted a statement to Instagram saying, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." Conservative commentator Megyn Kelly responded, "Hello, Disney. you're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig.
Wow.
So, and then there was the dwarf issue.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage.
Oh, boy.
Whose work.
Oh, Peter weighed in? Oh,
he kind of ignited the controversy. I don't think anybody really thought about it until he went on.
You know you're in trouble if Peter's weighing in.
Yeah. His work on Game of Thrones has made him the world's most prominent dwarf performer.
I'm sure he loves that title.
Yes.
Sure, he doesn't want to be thought of as an
world's
actor.
Most prominent dwarf performer.
Sure, he just like to be thought of as an actor.
Yeah. He weighed in and said he accused Disney brass of hypocrisy for casting a Latina actress in the lead role of a movie that infantilized dwarves. Quote, you're progressive in one way, but then you're still making that fucking backward story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together, he said on Mark Maron's podcast in January 2022. Cameras had yet to roll.
And they said, fuck it. Do it anyway.
Fuck. CGI them. That's the takeaway. Get rid of it.
So that's when they decided to CGI them?
Yeah. So, also, I mean, I guess I get what he's saying, but also you can kind of say that you're the world's most prominent dwarf performer,
right?
You made your money. Also, your most famous role, maybe besides Game of Thrones, is being called an angry elf.
Oh, what was that in?
In Elf.
Was he an elf?
Yeah.
I never saw Elf.
Well, you're missing out, Joe.
I know. People get mad when I say that.
I'm not mad. I'm just
disappointed. Yeah.
Disney executives rushed to quell the response generated by Dinklage's comments. A consultant for Disney back-channeled to the actor to explain their plan. The studio issued a statement saying, quote, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community.
Dwarfism?
Yeah. With the new Snow White, Disney executives figured that special effects had reached such a high quality that CGI dwarfs wouldn't read as out of sorts next to human actors.
Well, they really did.
They blew it. Filming began at Pinewood Studios located outside of London. Then an on-set photo leaked. The Snow White character walking through a verdant field trailed by not by dwarves of tradition, but by 7 people of various heights and races and genders. The British press gleefully spread it far and wide. No matter that the 7 actors were playing a crew of bandits from a separate plot line, the damage had been done.
Oh.
So they saw this picture. They said, they're
not even dwarves anymore.
They're not even dwarves. They're a bunch of fucking...
This is a no-win situation.
Yeah.
It's like she's known for being white, and she hangs out with dwarves. It's so undoable. Why did they decide to do this?
Yeah, they have hundreds of other movies that they could remake if they want to remake one, or they could just pay somebody to think of something new. They didn't have to do any of this. Zegler's comments.
Yeah, but that might be that's a risk.
That's a risk.
I like how that's a risk, but doing this isn't a risk.
Right.
They go, well, we might lose money on something new.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You lost everything on this. So, I mean, like, it's crazy.
Well, to quell the dwarf uproar, Disney released an image from the film of Zegler standing with the 7 CGI dwarfs to show in the words of one former executive that, quote, we didn't go re-engineer the dwarfs. It didn't work. Now dwarf performers were angry.
God, they're fucked.
Quote, this could have been a life-changing opportunity, said Dylan Postle, a 38-year-old dwarf who works as a pro wrestler with the WWE and whose acting credits include Muppets Most Wanted and Leprechaun Origins. Hollywood has come a long way from casting dwarfs in roles like the Munchkins or Oompa Loompas that only allow performers to serve as punchlines or spectacles. Said Postle, Disney executives had briefly toyed with the idea of casting live actors as the dwarves before deciding that the photorealistic visual effects was the better option. So
they go. Oh no! We thought about it, and then we decided not to.
We decided not to do that.
So
and I'm sure they don't have to pay voice actors as much.
No, I think it's like $5 a line. I think
as real actors, which I'm sure didn't play any factor into it whatsoever. There was an additional pressure hanging over the Disney team as they navigated this new Snow White, the character's own history. Inside the company, Snow White is the princess known to some as the one who bought the lot.
What? What does that mean?
Well, it was the most successful movie Disney ever made at that point
In
time.
1937.
Yes.
I mean, these people
It bought the lot, but it bought the lot.
It was also the first feature-length colorized animated film.
I know, yeah.
I acted like that had nothing to do with it.
The original animated movie premiered in 1937, nearly a decade after Walt Disney had introduced Mickey Mouse to the masses. In the decade between the two productions, Disney teetered with insolvency. The cost of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs reached an astronomical $1.5 million and required Walt Disney to put his own money into the film to get it completed. After a gargantuan Hollywood premiere featuring pickaxe-wielding dwarves and an actor dressed as Donald Duck, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs more than recouped its budget when it became the highest-grossing sound movie of all time, adjusted for inflation. The film collected more than $4 billion.
Opening weekend?
I think of all time.
Apparently when it premiered, so he risked everything for it. He put all of his money on the line, and they made this movie. And he was so nervous that the opening night he stood outside the theater, kind of like in the lobby, and would like look through the curtain every once in a while, and then just pace around and smoke cigarettes.
Oh, really?
It's very funny to picture that. And then what you're looking through the curtain is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on the TV.
Yeah. Wow. Mr. Disney. It was already a production laced with bad luck. A fire on set took out a tree and spread to a fake cottage. And video
Jesus
from the scene showed a blaze that required 12 fire trucks to extinguish. Then the real world intervened. In the time between filming stints, Hamas-led terrorist attacks in southern Israel killed more than 1,200 people.
What?
And Israel responded with a military campaign in Gaza. Gal Gadot, a former Miss Israel, who served in the country's defense forces, became one of Hollywood's most outspoken supporters of her home country. She organized screenings of a film that portrayed Hamas's atrocities and recently gave a keynote speech for the Anti-Defamation League, blasting those who were cheering on a massacre of Jews. Zegler, on the other hand, was her on-screen nemesis, shared her own thoughts on the war in August 2024 in a social media post that concluded, always remember free Palestine.
Oh, my God. So there is like an Israel-Palestine conflict on set.
Yeah, against the two main actresses. Against Snow White and the Evil Queen.
And the Evil Queen. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so it was
shut it down.
It was an addendum to a post in which she thanked her followers for their support after the release of the Snow White trailer.
Yeah, whatever.
The two women now represented opposing sides of the conflict. While Disney has released photos of the two smiling together at publicity events, advocacy groups for Palestinians have called for a boycott of the involvement of the film, given Gadot's involvement. On Saturday, Disney held a red carpet premiere on Hollywood Boulevard, 4 miles from the location of the original 1937 premiere. The 1937 event was called the most extraordinary premiere in cinema history. The red carpet last Saturday had no outside press.
You can't replicate success.
No.
Sometimes you have to take a risk on something new that you don't know if it's going to work. Because if you take a risk on... it's unbelievable that they keep remaking these movies.
They all suck. They
suck fucking cock, man. It's crazy. And I'm so glad it bombed. I'm so glad it bombed. Because now they have no excuse to be like, whoa, we can't make something new.
Yeah, I know.
But also everything new they make sucks too. So it doesn't matter. Fuck Disney, and everyone involved should be fucking tarred and feathered. Well, this is our final story of the podcast.
All right, Joe. I hope it's a pick-me-up.
I don't want to call it a pick-me-up, but Utah, actually, I mean, it is positive in the end. Utah law targets mommy bloggers. Not
off to a hot start.
Well, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Utah mom influencers sharing their traditional Mormon home lives are booming on Instagram and YouTube. You may have seen trad wife things.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard people make fun of them. I never actually stumbled upon one.
Well, they're huge in with Mormonism, all they do is stay in the kitchen anyway. So they've turned to TikTok to monetize this.
Sure.
Now the state is poised to enact dramatic protections for the kids in those videos by giving them the right to remove embarrassing clips when they are older and to share in the revenue.
Oh, well, I support that.
Yeah, me too. The
100%.
governor is expected to sign a bill that would make Utah the first red state among a handful of others that have passed laws extending the rights of child TV stars to child internet stars.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
The push for the legislation comes from the family of Ruby Frank, a popular Utah influencer with 6 children who went to prison. Not the children, the mom.
Yeah.
This is worded poorly.
Yeah.
Last year for child abuse.
All these YouTube families, they're all beating their children.
Apparently so, yeah.
You have to be insane to start a YouTube family channel.
Oh, it's so evil. I mean, that poor fucking Rizzler kid. I can't imagine what kind of problems he's going to have. And the Costco kid, you know that dad is fucking like... He's fucking grabbing him by the scuff of his fucking neck.
Say 3 big booms. Say it right.
Say it right. They're 8 passengers.
They're evil.
Excuse me. Their 8 passengers YouTube channel amassed over 1 billion views, but now her estranged husband Kevin and children want to stop others from using kids for
every
clicks.
estranged husband's name is Kevin.
That does seem dead on. Quote, child exploitation is rampant among family content creators and social media today, said Kevin Frank. Quote, this exploitative industry of family content creation is a multi-billion-dollar per year industry that involves numerous players, and the only meaningful way to combat it is through legislation. So you might be asking what exactly happened here. The Franks YouTube channel grew to more than 2 million subscribers before the facade of a large happy family crumbled in 2020 when one son mentioned he had been sleeping on a beanbag chair in the basement for 7 months as punishment for defiance.
Chained to the radiator.
Well, get this. Alarmed viewers fled the channel and Ruby and her husband separated. Ruby Frank was arrested in 2023 along with her business partner and therapist, Jody Hiddlebrandt, after their 12-year-old son escaped and begged a neighbor to take him to the nearest police station.
Jesus
The
Christ.
boy was malnourished and barefoot with duct tape around his ankles and wrists.
Where were they spending all that YouTube money, Joe?
I guess not for food for these kids. Investigators found that her kids were regularly denied food and water, beaten, and forced to do hard labor barefoot in the sun. The 2 women, it's crazy, quote, appeared to fully believe that the abuse they inflicted was necessary to teach children how to properly repent for imagined sins and to cast that the Mormon religion's a big part of this apparently, and to cast evil spirits out of their bodies. Persecutors. It's so wild, dude. Ruby Frank apologized to her children when she received her 1 to 15 year sentencing last year.
I'm sorry I didn't feed you.
Sorry I didn't feed you. I duct taped your fucking ankles together. Made you sleep on a sleeping bag. That was my bad.
I'm sorry. I hope you can find her heart to forgive me.
I should have fed you and put you in a bed while I exploited you on YouTube for the whole time. Even if she took good care of them, it still would have been child abuse.
Yeah, 100%.
To push them in all these fucking videos every day.
I need content.
Quote, this is this is from the daughter. So the daughter's leading the lawsuit against the mom and everybody. Quote, for me, a 12-year-old girl on the precipice of adolescence, this was being under constant surveillance was excruciating, she wrote. All I wanted was to grow up in peace, deal with my bodily changes and these pesky new zits without being recorded. Because the mom would be like, Haley's got a zits.
Oh, God,
going and like fucking bust into her bedroom.
Horrendous.
And take the duct tape off her legs.
Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. Now in college, Sherry Frank, that's the daughter, is on a mission to rein in the industry. She testified in favor of the bill, which requires parents who make more than $150,000 a year from social media to set aside a share of the income to a trust for their children. It also gives kids the right to take legal action to remove content once they turn 18.
Wow.
Sherry told the Wall Street Journal that while compensating children is a good step, her ultimate goal is to end family vlogging altogether.
I agree.
I'm right there. They should pass a bill saying, no more vlogs.
No more vlogs.
No more vlogs.
Well, there goes my idea of us adopting a child to boost the podcast numbers.
That would really, I mean, we could maybe get that boost we've been looking for. If we just had a little baby right here,
over the edge,
duct tape his feet together. Shut up! Trying to record the pod. But, well, that's been another episode of Echo Chamber Podcast.
Yeah, that about wraps it up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review, all that shit.
All that bullshit. And stay tuned. Update, my special we didn't have a date last time.
That's true.
We've got a date now, June 10th, on the 800-Pound Gorilla page. So follow 800-Pound Gorilla. My first comedy special dropping June 10th.
June 10th.
Check that out.
Just 9 days away from Juneteenth.
And that's why I chose that day.
And as always, this is Trent Mabry signing out.
What? Yeah. So close.
One of you.
June 10th, yeah. June 10th. Yeah, I requested Juneteenth, and they thought I said June 10th. So I guess we're stuck with this date now. So I'll have to think of something else for Juneteenth. Well, this is Joe signing off. Did you sign off or did you sign out?
I signed out.
Well, then I have to sign off. This is Joe signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.